2 Corinthians 4 verse 18. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. Ephesians 6 verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Blue Bayou. Ray and Tabitha are content creators. The name of their channel is Barkley the Bulldog. But as you see, this is Blue Bayou. That show off their three beautiful bulldogs, Barkley, Bama, and Blue. Last month, Tabitha showed a video with Blue in the car. She said it had been an hour. You see Blue sitting in the car and not allowing Tabitha to put his leash on the harness. Blue was barking and very aggressive at times. It appeared that he didn't want to leave the car. So she eventually gave up. You can tell at this point that she was very frustrated. I guess after the long drive and it being hot. Tabitha said Ray had to intervene. The next update was that Blue has dementia and neurological issues. Now, have you ever a dog with dementia? You know the vets had to be rolling. Tears had to be coming out of their eyes. It's like, did you really tell that lady her dog has dementia? Well, I gotta write up this paperwork. I gotta get me my money. Show me the money. I have to write down something. He's an old dog. And, she's saying that, he's acting up. So, well, what do you say? Dementia. And, yes, that's what she tells us. That he had dementia and neurological issues. Now, I want to share with y'all a story. Balaam and his donkey. A Bible story. King Balak of Moab was terrified of the approaching Israelites and summoned the prophet Balaam to curse them in exchange for great wealth. Although God initially told Balaam not to go, Balaam's heart was set on the reward, prompting God to eventually allow him to travel, but commanding him only to speak the words he gave him. God was angry with Balaam's eagerness for profit and sent the angel of the Lord to block the road. The angel stood in the road with a drawn sword, invisible to Balaam, but visible to the donkey. 3 times the donkey veered off the path into a field, walking closely against a wall, crushing Balaam's foot, and finally laying down. Frustrated and blind to the spiritual danger, Balaam fiercely beat the donkey each time it resisted. After the 3rd beating, the Lord miraculously gave the donkey the ability to speak. The donkey said, "What have I done to you that made you beat me 3 times? You made me look stupid," Balaam answered. "If I had a sword, I'd kill you here and now." "But you're my owner," replied the donkey, "and you've ridden me many times. Have I ever done anything like this before?" "No," Balaam admitted. Just then the Lord let Balaam see the angel standing in the road holding a sword, and Balaam bowed down. Animals are sensitive to spiritual things going on. And I feel sorry for Blue because the thumbnail of that video said, "Bad dog, get out now." I think that's what it said. And she's not even aware that this is a spiritual matter. When demonic activity is at work, these are signs that you will see from your pet. Dogs that normally protect their families suddenly become terrified of their own home. Dogs barking or growling at empty corners. Animals becoming suddenly aggressive or fearful without provocation. Normally friendly pets attacking family members unexpectedly. Intense staring. Cowering, whimpering, and extreme fear without physical threat. Sudden refusal to enter previously comfortable spaces. Your dog becomes unusually protective. And Tabitha, that's something that she would always point out about his intense staring. Now they feel that it's him being confused, when most likely he's seeing spirits, and then he's watching. He doesn't know that she can't see it, or anybody else for that matter. But the only thing I wonder is, like the other dogs, even though I must admit, from time to time, she might say something that the other dogs are doing, but they don't see. He's the only one who get dementia labeled on him, because the other dogs will be doing things, and it's like, what do you think about what they're doing? For example, I seen a video where it was just a short clip, and it said how Bama was in his own world. Bama's on his back rolling around, but when you really think about it, is it that he seen a spirit and the spirit was playing with him? Could that have been it? Because, he had that reaction as if he was getting played with, but being that there's nobody there, he's just doing that. But maybe he does see somebody, but, we wouldn't know that. And also, Blue has attacked her. And that's down, it says, normally friendly pets attacking family members unexpectedly. And Blue had done that. Only, unfortunately, that made people think that Blue should be given away. Because it's like, oh, he's aggressive and, but if they don't know spiritual matters, that's what they're going to think. Because so far, the things that, when demonic activity is at work, he showed those signs. Dogs that normally protect their families suddenly become terrified of their own home. Just recently, there was another episode where Blue didn't get out the car, and she was so aggravated. Like, here we go again. And it falls right under that category. It says, suddenly become terrified of their own home. He did not want to go in. It took her a while. He just stayed right in that car. Now, as far as, and also, yeah, not too long ago, it said sudden refusal to enter previously comfortable spaces. And that happened, but she's saying, oh, there he go again. He's confused. And Bama, help him. Like, oh my gosh. But then again, if she doesn't have this knowledge, she's gonna think whatever. And then the veterinarian said that he had dementia, so she's tying everything to dementia. So it's good when you have a pet to find everything that you can find about dogs and spiritual warfare, because this dog is getting it. People talking about she should give them away, and and she has the heart where she loves animals. And if anything, a muzzle, they don't have to give him away. Because one time they tried to rehome him, and they said he put up a fit. I remember the video where she was telling them about it, Blue, and how Blue, the way he carried on, you could tell he understood, because he started crying. And then he just dropped to the floor. like, Lord, no, please, no. Oh my God. Like he fainted, just dropped. And when they took him to the individual's home, it's like, where y'all going? Where y'all going? And his reaction, they had to bring him back. They couldn't leave him. It's terrible. And other things that they could experience is dreams. Dreams of being chased at banquets, falling, back at school, taking exams, their hair being cut, and flying like a bird, belongings being stolen, snakes and dogs, and odors, smelling things, but there's no source of what they smell. It could be rotten eggs, feces, sulfur, smoke, burnt hair, burning rubber, smell of a lit match. When you that smell that you don't know what I mean. Burning candles, stale flowers, wet earth, or garbage smell, sewage. And you know that there's no garbage. Or if there is garbage, it's nothing that would be smelling like that. Unexplained noises and sounds, such as heavy footsteps when no one is around, banging and knocking, low whispers of conversation. You hear something, but you can't really make out what's being said, but it sounds like, low chatter. Your name being called, appliances malfunctioning, items disappearing and reappearing. And that's the worst, because when that happens, like if there's children around, they're going to get a whipping. They're going to get that slave whipping, because you did that. You did that. If I wasn't yelling and fussing, you wouldn't have brought it back. You brought it back when I wasn't around. Or someone say they had a visitor, going to think the person stole from them, because it's like, who would do that? So-and-so was the only person that was here and they did that. Now, if you don't have any visitors, then you're going to be like, wait a minute, something is wrong. And then you're going to feel that, you lost your memory. Because it's like, I know I put it here and now it's gone. And what's wild is it can show up in a place that you've already looked, that you looked plenty of times. Then the next thing you know, it's there. And then, you're just going to shrug it off. Because it's like, I'm not going crazy, am I? I think something is wrong. Something is definitely wrong. And you're just going to take a sigh, a deep breath, and just walk away from that and just try to figure, hey, next time I'm just try to be more careful, because I know I was over here and I didn't see it. Now I see it. That type of thing. Lights flickering on and off, or going out when there's no electrical issues. And constantly. TVs, radios, electronics coming on and off by themselves. Picture falling off the wall. Pictures that were secured on the wall. And they just fall off. And keeps falling off. Doors that lock and unlock by themselves. Because when that door is open, you're going to be like, oh, well, I sworn I locked this door. Or you'll just say to the next person, you're going to say you left the door open. And they're going to be like, I didn't leave the door open. Well, it was open. And then, might be a little bit fussing in between there because, you didn't leave it open. And then they said they didn't leave it open, but it was open. But, after that, then everybody going about their business. Minor car accidents. And the last video, I think I put it in the last video I did on them. Because she was having car accidents and she was like, what's happening? Not knowing that it's spiritual warfare. And nobody talks about this. Nobody even know all of this is tied in together, really. You just know that surface stuff. Basically, you just think something bad happened or something strange. You don't know it's these other things that can take shape in your life. That's the result of someone sending dark energy towards you. You may see repeating numbers on everything, the same number on everything, everywhere. Like you just can't get away from it. And you're going to see it so much, it's going to be noticeable to you. Then you're really going to think something is going on. Because it's like, why do I keep seeing this number everywhere? You'll have sudden relationship troubles with family and friends. And also, it might be people you don't know. You come across people like strangers and they act real fool. And it's like, you talking to me? What's the problem? Why you acting like that? Misunderstandings. There will always be a misunderstanding about something. And joking that lands as insults. A kind word is heard as sarcasm. And cruel things are said to you. Cruel things just out of nowhere. People are going to say the worst things to you. Things that leave you wondering, why did you have to say that? What makes you say that? Something so evil. You could experience hair loss, losing teeth. And it doesn't have to be a whole lot. It can just be one tooth. And and you wondering, how is it that I lost this tooth? That happens. And extreme fatigue. Fatigue out of nowhere, like you being drained. It's horrible. Depression. Medical issues with negative test results. You may not be feeling the best. And you go to the doctor and they give you all these tests, but they come back negative. They can't find anything. And then they assume that, hey, you need rest. Take a little vacation. Waking up with unknown scratches and bruises. You can experience a heaviness on the shoulders. Insomnia. Sleep paralysis. And I wonder if they ever found something on their doorstep, like feathers, white powder, a dead bird, suspicious things on their property. And another thing that happens to people who are experiencing a witchcraft attack, their pets get sick out of nowhere and pass away. They had a dog, that's Barkley's dog, well, his puppy, Birkin. She was doing so well. She was thriving. Then all of a sudden she got sick and it passed away. And at the end of one live, Tabitha asks, do you ever go to sleep and wake up tired? And that's the thing. That's a common feeling. You're going to wake up tired. Like you've been fighting Mike Tyson, shall I say, and getting beat, pummeled. Your body is going to just feel wrecked. And there's times that you're going to be, well, that's already, of course, if you, if it feels like Mike Tyson was beating on you, you're going to have those aches and pains. So there's times it's going to be accompanied with aches and pains. Because then there's those times that, you know, you're just feeling sluggish. You can have an 8-hour rest and still feel tired. Rest doesn't help. Life is spiritual. Thanks for watching.